let me tell you a story. But it's not one that you think you already know. It's not about the girl who gets thinner and thinner until she disappears. It's not about the viral before and after photos on Instagram. It's not even about what eating disorders look like. It's what they feel like. It's about the silence, the shame, the exhausting war inside your body. And the worst part, most people never see it. Not because it's hidden, but because we've been trained to look for the wrong thing. We have been trained to spot anorexia only in the emaciated. We've been absolutely conditioned to miss bulimia unless we hear someone throwing up. We joke about binge eating like it's a lack of willpower. We idolize orthorexia as discipline. And we ignore the ones who suffer in larger bodies because we assume they don't have a disorder at all. But eating disorders, they don't have a body type. They don't have a single face. They don't come with labels. They come with pain, and that pain is everywhere. So today, I'm asking you to see what's been hidden in plain sight. I'm asking you to stop believing the lie and to start being part of the solution. We've all seen the images in our heads, right? The skinny white girl, bones, baggy sweatshirt, frail, fragile, fainting in gym class. That's what anorexia looks like, right? Wrong. Here's the truth. That girl, yes, absolutely she exists. And her suffering is incredibly real. But she isn't the only story. You see, eating disorders affect every race, every gender, every age, every size, every background. And yet, most of them go unseen. They go untreated, and they go undiagnosed. Why, you might ask? Well, because society has sold us one version of sickness, and we completely bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. And here's what the data says. Over 28 million Americans will have an eating disorder in their lifetime. Less than 6% of them are actually medically underweight. People of color are half as likely to be diagnosed, even when their symptoms are just as severe. Transgender people are 4 times more likely to experience eating disorders instead of cisgendered peers. And men and boys, they account for 1 in 4 cases, but they rarely seek help because of society's stigma. So the problem is not that people aren't struggling, not at all. The real problem is that we are not paying attention. We have created this model of sickness that's so narrow, that's so specific, that's so laser focused, that everyone else just falls through the cracks. And because of this, we're losing lives due to these stereotypes. And that is something that we no longer can afford to do. You see, let's clear something up right here. Eating disorders, they are very, very rarely, if at all, about food. Food is the symptom, but control is the core. And beneath that control is almost always trauma. When your world is so chaotic, food gives you structure. When your voice has been silenced, food becomes your battleground. And when you've been violated, criticized, abandoned, humiliated, your eating disorder says, I'll protect you. And a lot of times it does, for a while anyway. So some people restrict, some people binge, some people purge, some people count, some people obsess, some people hide, some perform health while suffering in silence. But all of them are doing the very same thing. They're trying to feel safe. They're trying to survive. They're trying to feel something or trying to feel absolutely nothing at all. You cannot just treat that with a simple meal plan. You can't, unfortunately, fix that with diet culture advice. So we need to start asking, what happened to you? What are you afraid of? And what pain are you trying to control? Because the eating disorder is never the enemy. The eating disorder is the armor. And if we want people to heal, we have to make them feel safe enough to take that armor off. Pretty heavy stuff. So now we have to ask the big part that should make, honestly, all of us pretty uncomfortable. We are part of the problem. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, so we live in a society that literally rewards disordered behavior. I mean, think about it. We praise weight loss, no matter how it was achieved. We idolize thinness, even when it's rooted in starvation. We shame fatness regardless of health. We call obsession wellness. We call restriction discipline. And we call collapse commitment. We hand out compliments to people whose rib cages show through their sports bras. We repost diet tips. We use filters that completely reshape our faces. We tell people to love their bodies, yet in the same breath, we sell them products to change them. And we do it all with a smile. That is not just a personal issue. This is a cultural sickness. We have made it totally normal to hate our bodies. And the cost of all of that normalization, well, unfortunately, that cost is people's lives. Now, who gets left behind in all of this? You know who gets missed the most? Well, it's the Black girl who's praised for being thick, even as she's restricting to survive. That gay boy, the teen who vomits every night and thinks that this makes him strong. That trans person who starves themselves to escape dysphoria. That mom who intermittent fasts and hides her binging in the pantry. The girl in the plus-sized body who's told she's not sick enough for treatment. We don't just miss these people, we completely invalidate them. We make recovery something only thin, white, fragile girls are allowed to have. And everyone else? Well, everyone else suffers in silence. Or worse, they believe that they're just absolutely not worthy of any help at all, which frankly is pretty sad. And that's absolutely not okay. We need to be better than this. So here is that kind of hard and heavy truth that we honestly must face. And let me say it clearly. Eating disorders don't have a look. They don't. They have a root. And that root is pain. Pain that deserves attention. Pain that deserves compassion. Pain that deserves treatment. And I know this because I've lived it. I have been that girl that people are worried about and the women envied. And I've been the too thin or the not thin enough or the you look great or you look sick. I can never win. I've been praised when I've been dying, and I've been pitied when I was healing. And through it all, I learned this. Recovery is not about what your body looks like. It's about what your soul remembers. So, here is my call to action. And I urge all of you not to stay silent. So what do? That's the big question, right? We wake up. We unlearn. We speak out. And we stop complimenting weight loss because you never know. It might be grief. It might be an illness. It might be a relapse. We start listening when someone says that they're struggling, even if they don't look it. We challenge fat phobia. We challenge diet culture. We challenge that narrow lens that we've all been taught to see through. We advocate for trauma-informed care that sees the whole entire person and not just the body. And if you've struggled personally, please know this. You are not a failure. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are someone who adapted in order to survive. And that is strength. But now it is time to just stop surviving and start healing and really start living. Let's work together to create a world where that's not just possible, but that's expected and that's the norm. I hear you and I see you. You are valued and you are worth it. Thank you.